All right, hello, and it's silverkyle, and today I am going to be reviewing The Teacher by Freida McFadden, which came out earlier this year. And this was my introduction to this author that I had seen previously before. I'd seen some of her books on the shelves and they caught my interest, just never enough to bite into. Specifically her Housemaid series, which I've heard really good things that have seemed to have really caught fire. And I believe that as of this year, it's a trilogy. So we're going to see if I dive into that at some point in time down the line. But for an introduction to this author, I will say that there are some positives and negatives. There's more positives for the author, but specifically this book for me was more so in the middle. So let's dive into this review. It's going to be non-spoilers. The only spoilers that I'll be talking about are what they have in the synopsis in the back here. Other than that, I won't be spoiling anything. And then we'll go into my final review. So The Teacher is a mystery novel, and it has basically going between two point of views with two different characters. One of them is Eve, and she has essentially the perfect life. She's a high school teacher who teaches math, and she has a husband that she loves. She loves her shoes. There's a lot to do with her perfect life until she's getting ready to kind of go back to school, and there's another student there called Addie, who was part of this really big scandal that happened the previous year that destroyed some lives, and we really don't know exactly what happened. It seems like there's a lot of lies being thrown around, and it's all rumors as to what Addie had actually done. Was she telling the truth? Was she omitting things? Was she lying? What actually happened? And we kind of see through Addie that having all of this kind of blow up and all these rumors being spreading, she's having a really hard time going back to school as well. And that's where we kind of see these two characters kind of intertwine, and we start to unravel what happened and what is currently going on. That's essentially the plot for this as we start. And I did enjoy the different two point of views, kind of seeing how things were going to progress with both of them. And I would say that the first third of this book, I was really enjoying the setup. But then near the last little bit of that first part, that first act, at the end of that first act, it just was starting to get into areas where I didn't really connect or like any of the characters anymore. And that's a really strong point for me. There are a lot of people that have no problem reading about like characters that are kind of just in the middle, or actually bad characters, or have flaws. And trust me, I want my characters to have flaws, but I want something that makes me connect to them. That yes, you are a flawed person, but I still really am rooting for you. And I really had a hard time finding somebody that I cared for in this as we progressed through the story. And it gets into some weird stuff as well that I won't exactly dive into because I can't, but yeah, there's some stuff in here that I'm just like, all right. So it's not exactly my cup of tea when I got to the end, and there are some twists and turns, which I did appreciate. But what I liked about the book, other than the twists, was I really dug how easy this was to read. Even if I wasn't super intrigued with the characters, the plot and the way that it was written by Freida McFadden really held my attention, and it was a super easy read. I was able to read it relatively fast. So that makes me want to read more from her, and just hoping that some of the characters that I read from her other books might resonate me with a little bit more. Once again, this might not be a problem for certain people, but if you need characters that you want to root for in a mystery novel, I don't think this is going to be what you're looking for. If you're totally cool with that and you just want a cool, easy read as a mystery novel, this might be more up your alley. For me, I gave it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Not my favorite, still worth checking out depending on how you look at it. I still enjoyed my time. I decided to finish it because it was still catching my interest, and it was super easy to read. So there you have it. That's The Teacher. I will definitely be reading more from this author. Specifically, I think the Housemaid series. There's The Coworker as well that I had seen, and Ward ID. That also looked pretty good. The Perfect Son was another one. She's got a ton of books here, but I'm just looking at the ones that I had seen before on the stands. I think The Coworker, the Ward ID, I say this. It's Ward D. And I mean, the Housemaid tale, that's definitely going to be what I'm going to be diving into. So there you have it. That's my review for the Teacher. Let me know in the comments below if you've read anything from this author before or if you read the Teacher. And you have all been bearded in. Beardage.